Nothing is offside when it comes to Russian fakes, not even your health. The Russian disinformation machine has been churning out fakes about the coronavirus. Yeah, disinformation never stops, but neither will we. Welcome to StopFake, the place where we break down fakes about Ukraine and expose the outlets that generate them. So let's get to it. As countries battle the coronavirus across the globe, another enemy is entering the fight, and that's Russian disinformation. Pro-Kremlin media are spreading disinformation about the coronavirus in order to aggravate the public health crisis in the West and undermine public trust in national healthcare systems, according to a European report that was leaked to the press. Over a period of 2 months up to March 16th, an EU monitoring team gathered 80 examples of disinformation from Russian sources. The fake Russian stories claim the coronavirus was a biological weapon developed by China, the United States, or the United Kingdom. Other fakes claim the outbreak was caused by migrants or was simply a hoax. One conspiracy theory broadcast on Kremlin-financed Sputnik radio in February of this year compared the 19th century opium wars with today's coronavirus, implying that England and international organizations wanted to control Chinese internal affairs. Russia's federal news agency, RIA, meanwhile, claimed that the false panic being whipped up about the coronavirus would benefit the pharmaceutical industry, which was looking to make money from the virus. REN TV in turn ran a documentary entitled Military Secret, in which it claimed the virus could be a biological weapon spread by American special forces in China. Russia, of course, denied that it was producing fakes about the coronavirus. One way of muddying the waters regarding the virus is to broadcast conflicting information, claiming on the one hand that the virus is less harmful than seasonal influenza, as the pro-Kremlin Oriental Review did earlier this month. On the other hand, the coronavirus is presented as a modern-day plague, an event that will end civilization as we know it, according to Russian nationalist philosopher Alexander Dugin, but allow for a complete renewal of societies, one of which, of course, will be Great Russia. As a reminder, Alexander Dugin is the ideological father of Putin's worldview, as well as the policy that Russia has adopted. Back in 1997, together with General Nikolai Klotkotov of the Russian General Staff Academy, he wrote a book called The Foundations of Geopolitics, in which they say, quote, "It is especially important to introduce geopolitical disorder into internal American activity, encouraging all kinds of separatism and ethnic, social, and racial conflicts, actively supporting all dissident movements, extremist, racist, and sectarian groups, thus destabilizing internal political processes in the U.S. It would also make sense simultaneously to support isolationist tendencies in American politics. Russia should also work toward isolating Britain from Europe, introducing discord both within the EU and between the US and the EU, and destabilizing Turkey. Russia must annex Ukraine because its independence is in enormous danger." Clearly, this has been Russia's foreign policy. And in an effort to create even more chaos, Russian disinformation claims that the Belarus opposition has plans to unleash the coronavirus against Lukashenko and his regime. Russian disinformation exploits any and all real information to create panic. Well-known world leaders are suffering from the coronavirus. Pope Francis, for example, according to Sputnik, has been infected, except that he has not been infected. Sputnik's claims present no evidence and are pure speculation, speculation being a recurring Kremlin narrative about the coronavirus. The reason behind this disinformation was the fact that the Pope canceled official events and audiences for several days. However, on March the 1st, the Pope held a morning mass. Pope Francis also explained that he canceled his participation in certain events due to the common cold. The Pope was tested for the coronavirus, and the results were negative. According to Russia's Defense Ministry official publications, Zvezda, Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, could be behind everything unfolding. Last year, Bill Gates said that 33 million people could die from coronavirus in 250 days. A few months ago, the head of Microsoft held an exercise called Event 201, which simulated an outbreak of a new virus that killed 65 million people in 18 months. Well-known pharmaceutical giants and Pentagon representatives took part in this exercise. Now, what really happened? Well, there was in fact an exercise, Event 201, held last October, but it was hosted by the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security with partners like the World Economic Forum and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And it focused on emergency preparedness in the event of a severe pandemic. But it didn't make real-life predictions about death tolls. A statement issued by the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security said, quote, To be clear, the Center for Health Security and partners did not make a prediction during our tabletop exercise. For the scenario, we modeled a fictional coronavirus pandemic, but we explicitly stated that it was not a prediction. Instead, the exercise served to highlight preparedness and response challenges that would likely arise in a very severe pandemic. We are not now predicting that the NCOV 2019 outbreak will kill 65 million people. Russia's disinformation machine has already claimed that Ukraine would run out of food during the coronavirus pandemic. Now it's telling us that Ukraine's Orthodox Church was battling the coronavirus by raising their arms in a Nazi salute. In fact, the fake from the Russian site Eurasia Daily stems from a Facebook post by an Orthodox priest supporting not shaking hands, while the leadership of the Orthodox Church in Ukraine advises its faithful to, quote, be attentive towards others and follow the recommendations of the medical community, identify the symptoms of the disease, and be merciful and tolerant towards others. Referring to a Ukrainian priest's Facebook post, Eurasia Daily writes that the priest suggests Ukrainians should greet one another as the Romans did, by raising the right hand. The publication concludes, quote, this Nazi-propagating priest believes the infamous Heil Hitler salute will save Ukrainians from being infected by the coronavirus. Again, Serhiy Tkachuk was the priest who wrote the post on Facebook, but his post was in support of the health ministry recommendation not to shake hands in order to avoid coronavirus infection transmission, and suggests that raising one's hand from the heart might be a substitute. His post is illustrated with a picture of a Roman legionnaire. Tkachuk makes no mention of Nazi Germany or Hitler in his post. That's it for this week. You can find much more dissected disinformation on our website, StopFake.org. Remember, if you spot any disinformation about Ukraine, forward it to us for a truth autopsy. I'm Marko, Suprun, and this is StopFake. Thanks for watching.